I was not expecting to have to make this video, but here we are. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm back with something a little bit different today, but I really wanted to do this video, and based on the results, feel like I absolutely have to and need to do this video. And if you are new here, you've just come across the title and say, oh, that sounds clickbait. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Lucy. I'm a neurodivergent fitness coach who is neurodivergent herself and supports neurodivergent women to live their happiest, healthiest life. I come from a background of extremes: binge eating, anorexia, bodybuilding, restriction. Like, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt for pretty much everything, and I'm on a mission to help people not fall into the same traps that I did, not longer feel broken, and make fitness, eating, all that good stuff work for their brains so they can be confident, they can be healthy, they can be happy. And I have been on a journey, guys. Like, if you have followed the page, you've followed the channel, you've been around a while, you will know that I have been on a journey with my health, you know, with being overweight, then anorexia, then getting into fitness, extremes, regaining my hormones, there's been a big journey. And the last time that I got my bloods officially done, I haven't actually explained what this video is about. Let's go back a little bit. So in this video, I'm going to be talking through a recent blood test that I went and had done. I was kindly gifted and invited to go and get a full blood panel done with a company called probably check what it's called. One Day Test. I always forget. I want to keep calling them One Lab. They're not called One Lab. One Day Test, who are absolutely incredible, but I'll come on to the service and how it all works in a bit. And I just thought, you know what, I don't think I need this, but I'd be really curious to see how my health stacks up compared to when I was bodybuilding, because I did get some tests done back then because my menstrual cycle went. I was experiencing a lot of struggles with sort of coldness, tiredness, my mood, and I got my bloods done then, and I think I've had about 4 rounds done, and each time not great. So in my head I thought this will be a really good opportunity to show you guys that I've come a long way on my health journey. I've made loads of improvements to my diet, to my stress levels, to my training, to my hormonal health, and compare them. That was what I thought. I thought I was going to get pretty much a blank slate, everything in range, and compare it and show the difference. That was what I thought this video would be. That wasn't the case at all. My bloods did not come back great at all, and I'm going to be breaking down what they mean, ultimately why I think it's happened, with chats to professionals, friends in the industry, colleagues, people that know me very well, and ultimately what the hell I'm going to be doing about it. So let's get stuck in. So yes, as I was saying, I was kindly gifted the opportunity to go and do this, and I thought, let's do it. So the service itself was absolutely incredible. I cannot fault them. Like, if you are neurodivergent or just like me, like to know the tiny details of everything, and you know, you hate not knowing what you're doing and where you're going and how long things are going to be, and it stresses you out, like this company were not that. The booking was easy. Getting there was easy. They have clinics all around the UK. I do believe they do home testing too. This was in central Leeds, so really convenient for me just to jump on the train. Really friendly, really lovely environment. Made you, I've had many a blood test and many a needle stuck in my arm, so they don't faze me, but like, she made you feel so comfortable. The amazing person, I think she was called Molly. God, if she's not called Molly, I feel really bad. She was lovely. She was very, very lovely, and explained the dashboard to me, that you got your own personal dashboard which showed all your results and how to monitor them, and it was absolutely incredible. So what they do is they took my bloods, and the turnaround time to get my personal results back was literally like 24 hours, which is really, really good. And what it does is it shows you on the PDF, like, it's got a little exclamation mark if it's out of range. Then you can go into your dashboard, and then it kind of tells you and gives you a bit of a reasoning why, which is really, really helpful, rather than just, that ain't right, soz bruv, then you're Googling it, and Google or ChatGPT are telling you you're going to die. So let's get stuck into my results. Now I'm going to just go into the ones that were either flagged as off, or a link to the problems, the issues that we're having, and are very close to the out of the ranges. So let's get stuck in. If I keep looking over here, by the way, I'm looking at my screen with all the results on, so don't think I'm not staring at you. We don't like eye contact anyway, do we, if neurodivergent? Anyway, so the first sort of section was around sort of like the blood, cells in the blood, white blood cells, red blood cells, all that good stuff. And most of it was good, most of it was in range, which is fantastic, but a few things were flagged. So the first thing was MCV, which honestly, I didn't really know what it was. Had to explore that one when they said it was high. Usually when it says that they are inflated. They're not carrying oxygen very well, which will explain something very soon about my iron levels. And it's usually linked to, usually it's B12, but my B12 was absolutely fine. But it's usually linked to stress and iron. Then my MCH, again, not really sure what this is. That was low, which means that my red blood cells are underfilled with hemoglobin, which is linked to basically what carries oxygen. So it's not carrying enough oxygen around my body. Then was my red blood cells distribution width, which basically means that they are similar in size. It's not really anything to report. So even though it's flagged up as needs attention, not really anything problematic. So that's why it's quite good to have this dashboard. I'm looking at it now because like when you just see needs attention, you can be like, oh my God, I'm dying. But that's not the case at all. Okay, so that was like the blood side of it. Then moving into transferrin, which is basically the transportation of iron. So it's not your iron levels. Like my iron levels, if you look, they're actually really normal. My transferrin levels, however, were quite low. So what we can basically infer from that is that I'm making enough iron, but it's not being transported to my cells. So it's like I've got it, but I'm not using it, sort of thing. So my body's not allowing me to use the iron, basically. So even though like on a blood test, like, oh, you're not iron deficient at all. So like just taking iron supplements isn't going to help because I've got it in my body. It's that my body's not like utilizing it, which is usually down to sort of like stress, potentially what I'll explain later on in what else is going on in the video. And it's what apparently is called functional iron deficiency. So that is what I have. And that would explain why potentially I've been feeling quite tired. It would explain why I've been experiencing poor recovery in my training, a lot of bruising, like literally my legs right now literally are like a Dalmatian. I look like a Dalmatian and I genuinely could not tell you where bruises coming from. And I know it's quite an ADHD thing just to walk into things and get bruised, but like genuinely it's kind of weird like how much I bruise. It can also be linked to brain fog, which I get a lot. Like my client, I'll be on calls with clients and it's like my brain just isn't coming up with the answer. Coldness, always cold, but like recently I've been sat in my house with like a hat on. I remember texting one of my friends the other day, I'll see if I can overlay it. And I was like, I just can't warm up in all these layers, like what's wrong with me? And anxiety as well, and I definitely have been feeling just more tense and on edge lately. So that explains that one. The next thing that was low was my thyroid hormones. And I have had an issue with thyroid before. So my T3 levels were in range, but they were very low, like pretty much on the cusp, but my free T4 was out of range. So basically, I'm not producing enough of the thyroid hormone, and thyroid is linked to digestion, cholesterol management, temperature regulation, energy, metabolism. That's obviously like a big one people talk about. That's my thyroid, that's why I'm not losing weight. It's my thyroid, so I'm not losing weight. But no, like that one for me was low. And basically it's kind of showing that it's in this like very low sort of power mode, which is quite common when the body is under a lot of stress. It's doing its thing, but like preserving as much energy as possible. So again, probably on a blood test, it wouldn't come back that I've got like underactive thyroid or anything like that, but it basically kind of is, and that would explain potentially some of the digestive issues that I've had in terms of a lot of bloating, a lot of feeling like I'm not digesting food properly, not going to the toilet as much, to be not so graphic. Cholesterol, which we'll come on to in a bit. And again, temperature regulation, why I've always felt quite cold. Then we have ALP, which again is in range, but it's right at the bottom. And it's an enzyme apparently that helps with bone and tissue repair. So very important, and especially for myself, someone who is on the brink of osteoporosis due to my hormonal struggles, very, very important. So if you've got low ALP, low bone recovery, basically, poor tissue repair, poor healing. So this is again going to very much explain the bruising, why my recovery's been really bad, where I feel like if I push my training a little bit, I'm really sore or inflamed or on the verge of an injury. Like that's just how I felt at the moment, even though like, you know, been doing the right things. I've not been progressively overloading too fast, anything like that. Then my hormones were quite off on the test. LH, FSH and sort of estrogen was quite low. But it's kind of understandable. I'm not worried about these because I am on a HRT. This will be another video for another day. But because I'm on a HRT, It kind of works, as far as I'm aware, very similar to kind of like contraception, in that like it's shutting down the normal hormone production. But apparently it's still not 100% normal for them to be completely shut off whilst on HRT. So this one I am actually asking a few friends and colleagues for a bit more sort of guidance on, as to be like, do I need to be concerned about this one or not? I know I just contradicted myself there saying I don't need to be concerned, but having read into it a little bit more, I'm actually not 100% sure. So I do just want to get that double checked. But again, level's not great. And then the final thing that was off was my cholesterol. So both kinds of cholesterol, the good and the bad kind, are low. And this is not because my diet is bad. My diet is very good. I eat very healthy. It's thyroid, right? Thyroid is needed to move cholesterol. So because the liver does not have T3 to move cholesterol, it's not shifting it, hence high cholesterol levels. So obviously, if you can imagine, when I open up these results and I'm like saying you've got issues with your iron, you've got issues with your cholesterol, you've got issues with your thyroid, you've got issues with your hormones, and I was thinking I was going to have like, a blank slate of like pretty much everything being in range. I was like, what the fuck? And it kind of just like sent me into a bit of like, what the hell is going on here? And I felt, the first feeling I actually had was guilt, in all honesty. Because I've been trying to really work on my health, and I feel like I've been doing the right things. I've got such an emphasis on health over aesthetics and extremes, like being on the journey I've been on, like my health is everything. If you don't have health, you have nothing. You have nothing, right? So I was like, have I let myself down? Have I been like lying to people on the internet? Like there was this overwhelming feeling of that. And ultimately, I've not done anything consciously. Like, if I'd consciously been doing things, it's a different story, right? But I was kind of not knowing, and I'll come on to this in a second. But where we believe all these issues have come from, it's just this massive, massive, massive buildup of stress. And I think I've not given myself enough kudos for, like, how stressful things have been over the last, like, less than 6 months, really. February, 5 months. So obviously I've had some massive changes in my business and business structure, which have completely changed like within a very short time frame, and it's been so busy. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. But God, it's been busy, it's been chaotic, like really good chaos, but mental, just constantly opportunities. My social media is growing. I was launching new programs. I've been, gone from like a dip to being fully booked with. It's just been crazy. So business has obviously been mental. I bought into a house. I've been doing the house. The house has had loads of issues that I've been fixing. Then obviously I've had my other business has been doing really well, so just being like constant with business and work. Then obviously training, I've been then training for a half marathon. So training for the first half marathon, moving house, completely restructuring your business, being really big. It's a lot, and I don't think I've given myself enough kudos for that. So obviously if I'm under a lot of stress, and another thing that we predict as well is that I've not been feeling the best that I could be. Like, I don't think I've been like, it's not been like 1,200 calories or anything, but because I just get into little rituals and routines, we think that maybe there's been like nutrients missing, or maybe not enough calories to support the recovery that I genuinely needed, because I've not been tracking. So all these things, stress hormones rise, iron's not being transported around the body, thyroid's dropping, your metabolism slowing down, my recovery's worse, my cholesterol's going up. It's all linked to ultimately fundamentally stress, right? There's no other obvious trigger for it. It's just my body basically like trying to protect me, going, hey, what are you doing? This is a lot. We're in danger. We need to conserve the energy. So that's why I think it's happened. Now, I was kind of like mentioning a few sort of symptoms on the way, and maybe you were thinking like, how did you not pick this up, Lucy? How did you not know something was wrong with you? And it's one of those things that when like someone, you kind of get the results and you reflect over the last few months of your life, you're like, oh, actually, do you know what? I've probably not been all right at all in terms of like my sleep, my mood, my recovery. I'm going to go into all these symptoms in a bit. But something that I really struggle with is perfectionism, not wanting to make a scene, and introspection. So with introspection, that's like reading your internal cues. And I've always been really bad at this unless it's like fucking obvious, like extreme pain or extreme tiredness. I've always just tried to push on and crack on, like self-employed. If I don't do it, no one will. I never want to make a fuss. I never want to let people down. I don't ever want to come across weak. I'm like, come on, don't be a bossy. Like I think like that a lot. So I don't feel subtle signals very well. There's little pink flags, as I call them, from your body going, Lucy, slow down, chill out. I'm like, I'm fine, right? I'm not like exhausted to the point of falling asleep. It's not that tired. I'm not so anxious that I can't leave the house, so it's all right. I'm not tearing my hair out with stress. My sleep, it's not perfect, but I'm not like wide awake at night. I'm not like full on injured, so it's just like, just crack on, crack on. So I've been pushing through niggles. I've been ignoring the fact that my bruises, I've just been kind of cracking, saying, oh, just feeling a bit stressed, rather than actually dealing with the fact that I've been feeling really, really, really fucking on edge. And it's kind of like my bloods have like magnified and allowed me to see the things that I wasn't able to see myself, which is the power of something like a blood test, right? Like usually you're probably going to go for a blood test because you think something's wrong with you, and then you go check it. Mine's kind of like, I didn't think there was anything wrong with me, but it's kind of shown me that there was. I'm not saying everyone should go and get a blood test just because you might be in the same boat as me, but it's just something to be aware of. And maybe if you don't pick up on big signals and you're getting these little pink flags, it could be just worth something to consider. So what were the symptoms that I'm now like aware of? My recovery with training. So I've been having, since I started running, really bad issues with, as soon as I start to increase distance, my recovery just goes to shit. And it's just been like an on and off battle. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing it steady. Why is it doing this? And it's just like my body just doesn't have what it needs to recover, ultimately. Obviously, the easy bruising, the brain fog, which I was just like, maybe I'm just, forgetting my words. But it was just, I've had so many moments now looking back where it's like I cannot get a sentence together or conceptualize what I'm trying to do. Fucking always cold, like extreme coldness. Recovery being really bad, so just increasing my training intensity and just aching like an absolute biatch. Really bad like anxiety and this feeling of like always just being like switched on. Like, and I know that's a very ADHD neurodivergent thing, but I've just always been like, what's next? I need to do this, and it's just felt like a constant like pressure on my head. Like, and if you're running like that all the time, that's gonna get to you. Feeling really bloated and watery, like my body composition hasn't really changed. I'm feeling lean, but like we're really like puffy. And at first I was like, is it something I've eaten? Because I was experiencing like a few sort of digestive, upset, bloating, not going to the toilet as frequently, feeling really full from food, not being interested that much in food, which is not like me because I love my food. But that would make sense as to why like I look quite puffy and inflamed. Low sex drive, like not being, I was like, at one point I was like, I'm going to really get back on the dating scene. Just not interested at all. What else? Just feeling so, like tired but wired. It's the only way I can describe it. Like I'm exhausted, but I'm so switched on at the same time. Demotivated, like I've been feeling really weird and like I should be so buzzing and excited by loads of things and I'm just feeling like nothing. I'm feeling really flat and emotionless and it's been weird. And sleep, like my sleep's been a bit shit. Like I'm going to sleep fine, but I keep waking up in the night and waking up at like 4 a.m. My cortisol is so loud in the morning, that's why I'm getting up that early. But no, all these things now make sense that like I'm not dying, I'm not in like a terrible position, but I'm not thriving, right? And you know me, I use that word a lot. I want to be thriving. I want to be the happiest, healthiest version of me. So what is the focus? Now, obviously, if anything gets extremely bad, I will have to pull out of the half marathon, which is really sad. And had it been like a UK-based one, I probably would be considering that. But it's in Paris. I booked my flights. I booked the hotel. It's non-refundable. My mum's coming with me. Like, I'm just going to be taking it really sensible to get there. And originally my plan after that was to do something really cool on my fitness journey, like a really cool fitness challenge. It's not happening. Like, I'm just going to be spending as long as it takes, whether it's weeks, months, the year, to just get my health in a good place, to bring down my stress, to be recovering well, feeling really good, just as healthy as I can with my training. Maybe pulling back on my training a little bit, dropping down the days, just doing what I need to do. I still want to train for my mental health, but it might just be doing a lot less of it, and for the time being, that's okay. Making sure my nutrition's on point, so making sure I've got enough nutrient diversity, plenty of whole foods. I'm working with Grace, who is my mate/coach on this, so I'm going to be making sure that I am really getting in enough of variety of nutrients in my body. If it means just eating slightly differently, that's cool. I do like my safe foods, I do like my routine, but I also don't like feeling like shit, so it'll be some tweaks on there, which I will talk you through when I do them. We're not actually necessarily going to be looking into any supplements as of yet, anything different. I have got myself some selenium, which can help with thyroid function, and some ashwagandha, which is going to help with my stress response to have on a night, because I know that that really helped my sleep at one point. But I'm just going to continue with like my omega-3, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, all that good stuff. And I'm just going to be really, really, really like on it with my boundaries and like de-stressing. Like I thought I was doing really well on it, but I'm clearly not. So just making sure that like my stress is managed really well. I'm taking days off, I'm taking time off, I'm not overcommitting to things. Like I want to go above and beyond for every single client and person, but I just can't. You know what I mean? If I fucking get worse, like I'm going to be useless to every single one of my clients and people on social media, right? So I can't be worse. And that's going to be my focus. It is just getting myself healthy so that my cholesterol's down, my thyroid's functioning, my recovery's good, and we thriving. So if there's anything that you guys would like me to share more of, document, obviously please just leave a comment or drop me a message. That'll be really, really good to know. I probably will, when I feel like I'm getting improvements in like 8, 10, 12 weeks time, get them redone. So if you'd like me to do that and then talk through, I will. But I guess I really want to do this video as well to just share awareness that like you just don't always know what's going on under the hood, and just to be in tune with our body. Like we rush around, we live life at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and it's not until something's like a red flag that we get it checked. But sometimes that can be too late, or that sometimes can be quite a big problem. You know, thankfully for me, my symptoms have not been severe. My readings are not like you are royally fucked. They are just out of range, which means that if I can, you know, focus on myself now, I can get myself healthy. So just take some time to check in with yourself. And if something feels off, like go and get it checked out. Like the company very kindly, that's probably better English, isn't it, given me a discount code. So if you want to use them, I honestly couldn't recommend them more. They were absolutely fabulous. I will leave that below for you to use. And if you have any questions about the experience as well, please message me. But I will wrap this one up today. I do appreciate it's a different video. And if you found it helpful, useful, insightful, again, please just leave a comment, let me know. Have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you're doing. And for myself, let's get on the road to being happy and fucking healthy.